My name is Whitney Dench and I'm the Care Services Manager at Olive Tree Retirement Village in Palmerston North. We are part of the Arvida group and consist of villas, serviced apartments, rest home level care and dementia level care. Myself and my colleagues came up with a quality initiative back in 2016 as we noticed a lack of knowledge at our regular support group meetings. We find that people are given a diagnosis of dementia for their loved one, but it is not always explained in a way they understand. They experience a mix of emotions from the grief and can become sad, angry and sometimes withdrawn about not knowing what to talk about with their family member when they come to visit or not being able to deal with their challenging behaviours. We came up with a concept to provide education to families as simple as possible to give them the skills to positively engage with their loved ones and give them the understanding of the broad term, which is dementia. The idea started off as a very small informal gathering back in 2016 to provide education to the families of the residents in our secure unit. This year we've opened it out to the village and the wider community, and we've also included our staff such as reception, beauticians, hairdressers and the maintenance man. We also invited our local police, supermarket and taxi service. This education is put together from the knowledge of our staff and local experts such as Alzheimer's whānau and our local GP. I am reporting on the progress monthly at the Dementia Action Group, which has recently been put together by health professionals in the Mid-Central Health region, a group all trying to raise awareness on dementia in our community. Our sessions are being held in our village community centre every Wednesday fortnight from 6 till 7 PM and supper is provided. Our sessions include education around dementia, depression and delirium, Alzheimer's whānau's role in the community, supports available in specialist daycare services, pharmacology, weight loss and mobility loss, personal cares and continence, and activities, life stories and making visits meaningful. The education is put as simply as possible so that everyone can understand. We keep our sessions to an hour only as to not add information overload. We provide handouts after the sessions so they can take these home and refer to them later if they need to. So how do we know that it is working? We are getting great comments and feedback, numbers are growing, people are returning, we are getting referrals from our local NASC agency and plenty of word of mouth. A family member came to speak with me and said she was struggling to find things to talk to her mum about when she came to visit and would often end up leaving in frustration as mum would not sit still. She learnt that instead of trying to get her mum to sit down, she would walk with her mum, having a conversation at the same time, using a list of things and topics to talk about that she was provided as part of the education. A villa resident who looks after her husband at home has discovered a more innovative continence product range she did not know existed and is finding the stress of dealing with her husband's incontinence no longer an issue. I think we all assume that they are the experts and that they have all the knowledge and support in the world, but in fact this is not always true. It is important for family to stay engaged with their loved ones, and it is easier for them to do when they have the tools and understanding. It is important for families to know that they are not alone and that they are supported on this journey. This certificate is awarded to you for attending the community session.
Thank you. You probably want to see it.
Most of the stuff that I knew about Chris's condition, I'd heard through the neurologist or I'd googled, so I hadn't really heard a less complicated description of what it was, what to expect, and that's what the sessions were able to provide for me. The range of neurological disabilities under the umbrella of Alzheimer's, the different like vascular dementia, FTD and all that sort of thing, and the fact that they were all under the same umbrella, and we're not necessarily, when we talk about our family members, we're not talking necessarily about the same illness with each person. So you can't compare apples with apples all the time because they're all individual, and that was brought home to me. I also learned through listening to the people talk there that whilst there were differences, there were a lot of similarities. So just listening to the anecdotes of people talking on questions they were asking of you, the presenters, opened up my eyes to some things that probably I hadn't really thought about with Chris, and how she felt and how she reacted and that sort of thing. Yeah. When she went into Silver Fern, I was pretty frustrated, probably at the end of my tether. And I think what I learned in the first session and backed up in the second session made me probably a little bit more tolerant and understanding of where she was and probably how hard she was trying, the fact that I wasn't recognising that, and it's made me probably a little more accommodating the way that I treat her, not so demanding, I'm more accepting. So I think that whole package of acceptance has really been brought home to me, whereas prior to that, out of frustration because I couldn't understand what was going on, I was going around in circles. So if she was able to answer, she'd probably say I was a nicer person as a result of it being over there now too. People go along to education evenings like that, they really don't know what they're getting into. And just listening to comments of people after the first series of talks and then the second series, a lot more understanding, and a lot of people consequently saying they're going to come to the next one because of the little tidbits that they'd heard. So I think the value of the whole thing is filtered down into the village community, hopefully in a positive way.